When did you talk to Dr. Fauci?
5:30 Saturday evening.
There you go. So was he already self-quarantined at that point in time?
I think he was. I didn't hear about it until my wife and I were watching the news at 6:30 Eastern, and I heard about it then. But I was, on Saturdays at this time of year, what I basically am doing is trying to write most, if not all, of my Football Morning in America column. So I've just got my head down and I'm just writing. So I didn't really know what was happening in the world at that point.
So let's get into it. Dr. Fauci, in short, I guess said it's possible that there is an NFL playing season in 2020.
Yeah, I think he is bullish on doing everything. Like he loves sports. He loves baseball. He doesn't love football. He's okay with it, but he understands how important sports are to America, and in particular at this time of year when there's none going on, that we should really try to do everything we can to, at least be playing the games, even if fans can't go to them. So he's very bullish on the NFL doing everything possible to try to play. I mean, as I have written, and he basically assented to, time is on the NFL side. As he said, because I asked him, would it be piggish for the NFL to start using up a monstrous amount of tests? Like what I would figure at least they would need to have a season, about 200,000 tests for the league to be able to have essential personnel and players tested twice a week for the year. It might be more than 200, but he said, yeah, it would be piggish if they did it right now, but there's a very good chance 3 months from now, when all of these tests are going to be getting used by the NFL, there's a very good chance that it won't be piggish then, because they're mass producing tests. And as he said, shame on us if we don't, get that part of it going. We need to do it for society at large.
So testing, tracing, and then I know you mentioned the other day about Dalton signing in Dallas. It's important to have a backup quarterback should your starting quarterback test positive for coronavirus. And I was beginning to think, well, if quarterbacks are around in a quarterback room, then wouldn't everybody have to self-quarantine if somebody did test positive in the same way that Dr. Fauci is? But he basically said you can get to the point where if somebody does test positive for coronavirus, you just remove him from the team, test everybody else, and off we go to week 3, on to Cincinnati, essentially.
Because I think he views that one test is going to be an outlier if everyone else tests negative. But that's why you test more than once a week, because as he says, you could have the virus and not test positive, and then 2 days later test and you're positive. So let's take the case of one individual player testing positive. I think that is a good reason why even when you're in a locker room and you're with a team, you're still going to practice social distancing. Rich, it's been very, very interesting. About a half hour ago, I got a call from an NFL general manager. It's the second one I've gotten in the last couple days about this topic. And this general manager basically told me he was inspired by what he read from Fauci today in my column, and said that there is a way, and we all need to basically take the design that the NFL put into play last week during the week. And I think there was about 10 pages total in those documents that Roger Goodell sent out to the teams, in which there is absolute explicit design of every team and what they're going to have to do to put a program in place. And the reason why it's so important is that, if you have 53 guys taking a test on a Saturday night, just imagine if 4 guys test positive. I think the NFL most likely will do exactly what Fauci said. The NFL, the team would announce, hey, these 4 guys tested positive. We're not playing this week. And, so think of that, and obviously think of the opponent the next day. Would the opponent the next day just say, well, you got those 4 guys aren't playing. The rest of your guys, we're sure they're safe. No. Would you be a player wanting to play a team that in the hours before the game had 4 guys test positive? No. It'd be like walking into the White House right now and having 50 guys walk through the White House. Every one of them would look at everybody that they're meeting in the White House saying, so, did you run into the 2 people who've tested positive? So you really are going to have to – teams are going to have to pay painstaking attention. I said to this one GM that as crazy as this sounds, it'll be as important this year to have a pristine hygienic plan and cleaning plan all through your facility. That'll be as important as having a good offensive and defensive game plan for that week's game. Because if you don't keep it clean, there's not going to be a game.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.